Hi, this is just going to be a real quick short video on the basics of HTV. It's actually called Heat Transfer Vinyl. We're getting ready to do a buy in our Facebook group called Crazy Craft Buys. We're all pretty much crazy in there is the reason for the name of it. But wanted to show you the difference between the two sparkles that are being offered right now in the HTV buy, Glitter Flex Ultra. And I'd said how this is more sparkly. I think this is the best way to show you. And then here's the Glitter Flex 2. They both have their advantages. The Ultra is obviously a lot more sparkly. The 2 is thinner, and it really, you can kind of hear the grittiness, but it really doesn't feel that much like it. The Ultra, you can feel it, it's thicker. So it just depends on what your project is, on what you like. The Flex 2 does have a lot of stretch. When you iron it on to something, it's really going to stretch. So it just depends on your project, what you need, what you like. So there's a difference to those two. A lot of questions have come up, which side do you cut? Some of them are really obvious, like here's a Fashion Flex, the tiger print. You don't want to cut this side. This one, it's just obvious because you flip it over, there's the white side. Cut on this side whenever you put it on your cutter. Some of them, here's like a pink one. You don't want to cut on the pink side, cut on the white. The black is one, when you're new to it, it's kind of hard to tell. Here's one that I overcut. This one's a major mistake, but you can see that glossiness, that's the carrier sheet. You don't want to cut on the carrier sheet. The other side's kind of flat, ugly. Another way to tell on some brands it is just really hard to tell which side to cut on. This one, it's obvious to me because there's a glossy side. That's my carrier sheet, I know. The other side's not. If you have something that is hard to tell, the easiest way, take a razor blade or something in the corner and just cut. You don't have to even cut hard. Just make a few cuts and then take either your nail or the blade. I'm not going to use a blade because I'll probably cut myself because I'm trying to watch the camera to make sure you can see what's going on. But you can see where I'm starting to pull it away from that carrier sheet right there. That tells me I'm cutting on the right side. That's the side I want to be cutting on. And then, but you can just kind of see, but I'm cutting, but then there's that carrier sheet still there. Here's a glitter one. This is not one of Thermoflex's glitters. I hate this glitter. And honestly, I wish I could tell you what brand it is. I don't remember. I've had this for a long time. But here's one. He's been cut. He's already been weeded. But you can tell on like the glitter, there's that glittery side, and you can see that glossiness. That's the carrier sheet. That's this carrier sheet right here. That's the side I cut on. Some of the brands of glitters, you're going to have to really do some testing to find out which depth, thickness, and all that with your cutters. The Cameo, I normally have to go a little bit thicker on the glitters. I normally do almost the same as what I cut my Oracal 651 at. It's blade depth 2, speeds anywhere from 8 to 10 depending on what I'm cutting. And the thickness, I normally go about a 7 or an 8 on the glitters. Regular HTV, I think my thickness is set at 3 or 4 on those. Like this one, this is that carrier sheet. A lot of people have no clue what we're talking about on HTV when we say carrier sheet. What you're going to do with this, see, this is the side that's actually going to stick to the shirt. This carrier sheet, we're going to do some stuff with the heat press later, but say this is my shirt. That's going to lay down like that. The heat press or iron's going to go across there. Then when it's done, you'd peel this away, and that horse is actually going to stick to there. So that's what the carrier sheet is. That's on your HTV when you get it. You're not applying it. It's not like a transfer tape or anything like that, even though it serves the same purpose as a transfer tape. But it's on there. So I think that's the basics of HTV. Learning to figure out which side to cut. Like here's some of the neon. This is Thermoflex. The brighter color, and then you got that dull side. The dull side's the side you want to cut on. White is a real hard one. Some brands, they actually make the carrier sheet a little bit, it's like a different color or something where it's obvious, but again, just take your razor blade and kind of cut to where you can kind of see that. And then whenever you do another one, if you've never done it, the weeding to me is a lot easier on HTV if you got a good brand. This is a flower, you can kind of see it cut in there. And I've kind of pulled this back with my razor blade. And remember, ignore this one. This is one where I had the settings wrong and it cut all the way through my carrier sheet. But this one, you just start pulling it. And it's real elasticy. It's almost like a thin rubber when you're pulling it. Let's see how it's just, I'm not even really being careful, and it's just pulling right off. That's what you want in your HTVs. These were some mistake pieces I had done. Obviously, I cut off the sheet, but they can still be used for a project or something.